Yes, welcome back, students. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the lecture series on analysis of indeterminate structures. That is 18 CV 52. Today we are going to start with a new model, number 4. That is flexibility method. So lecture number will be 31 only. Yesterday we could not continue this due to some technical problems. In the previous class, we have studied about the third model, that is Kani's, in which we have analyzed both continuous beam as well as rigid frames, and we have drawn the bending moment diagram. In today's class also, we are going to do the same thing with a new model, that is matrix method. So the same continuous beam and rigid frames are also analyzed here, but with a different method. Finally, the result concluded will be the same what we come to know from the previous methods only. So let us start with a new model, that is matrix method. Already you have learnt about regarding matrix in your mathematics. Since the equations are written in the form of matrix and analysis is done in the form of matrix, these are called as matrix method. Usually there are two types of matrix method here we are going to learn in this syllabus. One is flexibility matrix method. The other one is stiffness matrix method. Flexibility mainly deals with improvement of the consistent deformation method. This consistent deformation method was there in your syllabus for 4th semester for your senior students, your senior friends. But for your syllabus, it has been removed. So the improvement of that consistent deformation method itself is a flexibility method, where the number of unknowns which are more than equation of equilibrium, we call them as a redundant force. Coming to stiffness matrix method, this deals with the improvement of slope deflection equation. That later on we come with that this is the fifth model will be stiffness, fourth will be flexibility. So let us concentrate only on flexibility. So before going to this flexibility is also can be called as a force method, can also be called as a compactability method, and also flexibility method. There are three names for this. Any name can be called it by force method, by compactability, or flexibility. Before going to this detail, let us know some basic for this things for this. So let us know the word called degree of static indeterminacy, or we can also call it the same as a degree of redundancy. Hope you have learned this word, degree of static indeterminacy. Have you heard this word, students? Have you heard about this words, that is static indeterminacy? Whether you are remembering or not, we have learned this in your 4th semester. That is the first chapter, determinate structures, indeterminate structures. That was static and kinematic. So let us have some glance or some revision over that. When we called a structure as a static indeterminacy, as we know, to analyze the problem, we call it determinate structure when the unknowns in the structures are equal and less than the equation of equilibrium. Such structures are called as determinate structures. When the unknowns are more than 3, that is equation of equilibrium, then we call that structure as a indeterminacy structures. The same thing here. When we calculate the number of equations, even I am not telling the same number, when the number of equations required over and above the equation of static equilibriums, that is when we are analyzing a beam, when the unknowns are more than the equation of equilibrium, such structures we call it as a indeterminate structures. and the number of unknowns which are more than equation of equilibrium, those unknowns are called as degree of redundancy. Redundancy means if you take one any problem, if unknowns are 5 in that and equation of equilibrium are 3, so 5 minus 3, 2 are a degree of redundancy of that structure, or we can also call it as degree of static indeterminacy. Simple equation you have told. Similarly, coming to degree of kinematic indeterminacy, or which we also call it as a degree of freedom. So they may ask for 2 marks questions that explain degree of redundancy, explain degree of freedom, define degree of freedom, define kinematic indeterminacy. Like this, they may ask any questions. So simple word. Here static means number of unknowns. Similarly, when we come with kinematic indeterminacy, I think you know already in the last semester we have learned, that is a degree of freedom word you have heard and we have learned that. When we take a same beam, we have some support condition at joints. At every joint there will be some conditions, whether it is a rigid joint, whether it is a pin joint, something will be there. So at that joint we get number of forces, that might be vertical force, that may be a horizontal force, that might be the moment. So those will be unknowns for us. So suppose if you consider a beam, simply supported beam, I am giving an example, where one end is hinged, the other end is roller support. So what we say, the hinged end is able to rotate in its own direction, in all the directions. It can only rotate, but it cannot move in horizontal direction. It cannot move in vertical directions, because since it is a hinged one, the restriction will be done for that to rotate or to move in a vertical or to move in horizontal directions. It has been restricted, but it is free to rotate in any directions. So at that joint where it is hinged, we call it as a degree of freedom is 1, because it is free to rotate only. When you come to other joint, which is a roller support, as I mentioned, it is a roller support. It is having only one vertical force, which is restricting movement in vertical direction. Means when a force is applied over that joint, that will not allow to move in vertical direction. Rather, it can move in horizontal direction, or there can be a rotation at that joint due to the applied force. So the degree of freedom at this joint, we call it as a 2 numbers, because it is restricted in vertical direction movement, but it is free to rotate. It is free to move in horizontal direction. So we call it as a degree of freedom for roller support is 2 numbers. If you assume it is a fixed end, it cannot move in horizontal direction, it cannot move in vertical directions, even it cannot rotate in any of the directions. That's what degree of freedom is 0, means the joint don't have any freedom to do anything. That indicates degree of freedom, means that it related with the joints only. That joint is unable to rotate, that joint is unable to move in horizontal direction, that joint is unable to move in vertical directions. So if there is no free for that joint, so kinematic indeterminacy or degree of freedom can be explained that the displacement components of all the joints, which cannot be found by compactibility equations, we need additional equation to based on equilibrium conditions. Thus, we call them as degree of freedom. That is, number of unknowns can be known by the support conditions. Here we can see some of the examples I have shown. That is pin jointed frames. dk stands for degree of kinematic indeterminacy. That equation equals to 2j minus 3, where j stands for number of joints. E stands for number of unknown forces. This formula is applied only at the pin jointed frames, not rigid joint frames. It is pin jointed frames. So 2j minus 3. And similarly for rigid jointed frames, for plane frame, we take degree of kinematic indeterminacy equals to 3j minus E. For a space frame, space means it will be three-dimensional. That for that we take a dk is equal to 6j minus E. J stands for joints and E stands for compactability condition or number of unknowns, not equations. E stands for number of unknowns in that structure. If it is fixed at one end and other end is hinged, so number of forces will be 3 plus 2, 5 numbers of unknown. J is a joints, the number of joints in that member. So the degree of kinematic indeterminacy is found by this formula only. If it is a rigid joint, we can go with a 3j minus E. If it is pin jointed, we can go with a 2j minus E. Here are some example I can show you. You can see a beam is given with both end fixed here. So degree of kinematic indeterminacy for this member is 3j minus E. J means there are two joints A and B. So 3 into 2, 6. Minus of unknowns are 6. 3 at A and 3 at B. So 6 minus 6, it will be 0. So the degree of freedom or the kinematic indeterminacy for this structure is 0. Similarly, when we consider the second member, we can see it is a prop cantilever, you can say, where one end will be fixed, the other end can be a hinged or roller. Here we are given the hinged support. So the number of unknowns are 5 numbers, 3 at a fixed point and 2 at a hinged point. So E equals to 5 numbers, J is 2 numbers. So the formula for kinematic indeterminacy is 3J minus E, that is 3 into 2 minus of 5 unknowns, it is 1. Means only B joint is having freedom to rotate. That is the point here. Similarly, when we come to a simply supported beam with one end roller or other end hinged, the degree of freedom will be 3 into 2, 2 joints, 3 into 2 minus of 3 because 2 unknowns at A point and 1 unknown at B point. So 3 into 2, 6 minus 3, the degree of freedom for this member will be 3 numbers. This is regarding rigid structures I am taking, that is of plane frames. That's what the formula was 3J minus E. When you go for pin jointed frames, here we can see once we have taken a pin jointed frame, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there are 6 joints. And the unknowns at one point is hinged and other is roller. So E value goes for 3 numbers here. And J is 6 numbers. C is the pin jointed, we can go with the formula 2J minus E. So 2 joints, 2 into 6, 6 joints, that is 12 numbers. 2 6 are 12, minus of unknowns are 3. So 12 minus 3, 9 is a degree of kinematic indeterminacy, or we can say degree of freedom for this structure is 9. This is how we need to calculate the things. So some questions may be given in your final exams to know the degree of kinematic or static indeterminacy. Static indeterminacy means it can be known easily in the stiffness matrix method. So let us know. These are some points regarding flexibility methods. So that, let us know the steps to be followed while analyzing the flexibility matrix method. So first one, determine the degree of static indeterminacy. So whenever a question is given, we need to know is that we are going to find the degree of static indeterminacy, that is number of unknowns which are more than equation equivalent. How many numbers are there? Those are called as number of unknowns. Then we choose the redundant force. What is this redundant means? For example, if a structure is given, in that the number of unknowns are 5 numbers. Our equation of equilibrium is 3 numbers. So 5 minus 3, 2 is unknown here. So degree of static independency is two numbers. Redundant means the two numbers which are excess in that member. If you remove any of the two forces in that member, we are going to select any two forces in that out of 5 unknowns. We are going to select any two unknowns, which we call them as a redundant after choosing. If we remove that force, the structures become determinant structure. If we select any of the two forces, if you remove that forces, then the structures become determinant structure. So this redundant force which you are going to remove, they should be assigned as a coordinator. As I told, a beam is taken with the 5 unknowns. Equation of equilibrium is 3 numbers. So 5 minus 3, 2 is the degree of redundancy. Means there are two unknowns. That is, we call it as a redundant force. Which force you are going to remove? Know the direction of that force. If you are removing vertical force, then your redundant force should be vertical. If you are removing a movement at any joint, then your redundant force should be in movement form. That is the method. So first step, find the number of unknowns. Second step, choose them as the redundant force. Excess member should be, excess force should be chosen as the redundants. Remove them, make the structure basically determined structure. Once the structure become basic determinant structure, draw BMD for that. Then find the displacement at a joint where we have assigned the coordinates. Which are these coordinates? When we choose the redundant force as in indeterminate structures, those removing redundant force are numbered as the coordinates. So find the deflection at the coordinate points for the given BMD for external loadings. Then the sixth step, apply a unit force or unit movement, whichever we assume as redundant. At that point, apply a unit movement or unit force. Then draw the bending moment diagram. Then find the deflection at the point where coordinates are assigned. Coordinates are nothing but our redundant force. So find the displacement at coordinate points 1. Similarly, this procedure should be repeated till we get displacement at 4 numbers. If you have 2 unknowns, we get 4 displacements. If you have 3 unknowns, we get 6 displacement like this. Next, once we from a matrix table, then we are going to apply compactibility conditions. We can see what is that compactibility conditions. That is small delta into P is equal to delta minus delta L. In the above equations, we know when we choose redundant force as a redundant force, those redundant force are nothing but a P force. Then comes a delta. Delta later on we study. Delta L we come to know. So when we remove the redundant force, beams become statically determinant. Then for the given external load, we are going to draw the BMD. Then we are going to find the rotation at the point where we require. So there we get the value of delta L. Once you know delta L, once you know P value, find the, even after that, we are going to apply unit movement or unit force at a deflection point where rotation is required. Then we form a table of matrix. So small delta value is known here. So P is known, small delta value is known, capital delta and delta L value is known. Substitute all this, find the value of unknowns. Once you know the unknowns, then substitute them in the regular equations. Find the forces in all the members. Then draw BMD. So this is regarding the area to be covered in the yesterday's class, that flexibility. So that today I can start with a problem here. But yesterday in from technical problem, you are unable to start the problem and continue. So today I have continued with new models, it is flexibility. Just know the things, how the models will be formed. So format is given, notes in the form of steps is given. We can apply any stiffness or stability method, anyone, to analyze this. So in this, if you go with the Bloom's taxonomy 1, you can see today we have only recorded some fact of basic concept, and we got the explain the ideas or concept. So today we are in level 1 and 2. Level 1, we have remembered the old what we have learned in the determining structures analysis and what are the terminology to be used here. Next one is understanding. Yes, what is the concept to analyze the problem that is known here. So steps are given in stepwise. That is first one, find the indeterminacy, that is static. Then choose the redundant force. When unknowns are known, choose any number of unknowns to get it equally 0. These unknowns are known as redundant force. So remove them, make the beam basic statically determinant. Then find the deflection at a point where it is required. Next step, apply the unit moment or force at a point where you are removed. For that, again draw a BMD and get the deflection at the point where it is required. So we are in first one, that is we have remembered something and we have understood something and we did it. So in the Monday's class, we can take any one of the problem and the same steps to be followed, and we can analyze and we can come to the conclusion. So dear students, any doubts regarding this? And also one thing I want to already I have given the portion for your IAs for second IA. That is second IA portion is questions from moment distribution method and question from Carney's method. So part A will have the moment distribution method where there will be 2 questions. You need to answer 1 question. In the similar fashion, part B will have a Carney's method. Again, there will be 2 questions. You need to answer 1 question. If you people are having any doubts, go through the notes, write down the assignment. I think it is well and good if your assignment are submitted well within the IA, so that the marks while giving for IA marks, it will be helpful. Means when final IA marks should be finalized, that time the assignment when you are submitted, that will be taken into account and your additional IA marks will be added, because writing will be for 30 marks. Remaining 10 should be given for your attendance, your mini projects, your assignments, all that. So don't give chance for them to lose that one. Submit the assignment within the time so that you can practice something in by your own. So it will help in writing the IA paper. So syllabus is given clearly. You people are already, there will be 2 days holiday for this subject. Go through the notes, go through the things, whatever you want learned in the previous class. If people are having any doubts regarding moment distribution or even Carney's method, the same should be brought into my notice on Monday. So that Monday, if you want, I will continue with a new chapter with a new problem. If not, you want to discuss with any of the related matter with the I, that is with the model number 2 or 3, I am ready with that also. So it is left to you what to be done, whether class to be continued or you want to have a revision class with the old topics. Choice is yourself. Whichever you choose, it will be went with that only. So I think let me conclude the class now, so that Monday when we back, you will be taken with the notes. Whoever are not submitted the assignment, kindly submit it by today or tomorrow, so that it will be helpful for you only. Is it okay? So go through the notes, make down the points. As day before yesterday, I have discussed some you are having some difficulties. They're telling that the assignment questions you are given, we are not getting the answers, sir. I told you to send it through my WhatsApp group so that I will view that and I can correct the things. If not, submit them as it is for the assignment. I will correct in assignment only. I will submit it back. Okay. Okay, guys. Even though after having lunch with the patience listening, you are listening to my words. Thank you for that. So we will conclude the class today itself, and from tomorrow and day after tomorrow it is